Welcome back to another episode of Mind Your Rehab. I'm Dr. Allison Heffron, and this is...
Dr. Vinny Tagliaferro.
I always forget that I'm going to say my last name.
Yeah, me too. You you weren't doing it for the first
Was I not?
so many episodes, and then we threw it in.
Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We're just sipping our coffee. Cheers to your coffee if you're having some.
Coffee cheers.
It's a nice rainy day here in New Jersey.
Feels great outside. We definitely needed the rain.
Yes, we did.
It's been humid, hot.
Yep. Who else is tired?
Allison's tired. Since we spoke last, we had Juneteenth, we had Midsummer, we had the summer solstice, and we had Father's Day. We had all those things happen in between.
Sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for Father's Day, we spent the day in the pool at your parents'.
Yep.
And I was just saying before we hit record that Vinny looks tan, and he said...
Yeah, I had one day outside in the sun.
I did too, and you would never know it.
Yeah, we are cut from different cloths.
I'm very pale.
Yeah, I'm not.
If you're listening and you don't know what we look like, I am mayonnaise. I'm very pale.
I'm olive oil.
Yeah, so... I don't think anything really new has happened since last time.
I'm excited. We got a bunch of herbs and stuff from my parents. Let's see. We got oregano.
Raised garden beds.
We got raised garden beds. Yep. Oregano, cilantro. We got jalapenos. We got thyme. We got blackberries. We got tomatoes. I feel like I'm missing something.
We got thyme. We got spearmint.
Yeah, we got spearmint.
Cilantro.
I said that.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
we got a bunch of good stuff that we're gonna take advantage of.
And then my brother and my sister-in-law, her sister-in-law, I guess, my brother and sister-in-law, they came over and we hung out all day, hung out outside, hung out inside, and yeah, it was a fun-filled weekend. And now
it was a busy weekend.
It was, and didn't get to go to Costco. I went today.
Great job.
Felt like we were really on the verge of having nothing.
Yeah, but you got it. We're good now.
Yeah,
we got at least a week's worth of food in the house.
More than that. 2 weeks. That we don't get we don't really get fresh produce from them. I got a bunch of strawberries, but I'm gonna go through that shit like crazy.
Yeah.
For anyone who needs, they're going into a calorie deficit for whatever reason, and you like strawberries, eat a lot of strawberries. I've been having them in my yogurt in the morning, post-workout. I've been having them as dessert. I've been having them as a snack. They are pretty amazing. They're so low calorie, and they taste great, and it's strawberry season.
That promotion was paid for by Big Strawberry.
By Big Strawberry. Moving on to today's topic.
Let's go right in.
Today's topic is, I don't really know how to say it in one word. So, a theme that's come up in the office. I take video of new patients when they're going into when we're doing the evaluation for the movement for the movement assessment part. I'm taking video of all their movement, so that way it makes it a lot easier for me to, not only for me to be able to slow things down and really see any breakdown, but also, and where it's coming from, but also be able to show the client, patient, whatever, what is going on. Because honestly, I think that builds trust, because I'm not making shit up. I'm not just like, wow, your spine doesn't bend. And then they're
take my word
for it. Yeah. I can point it out exactly as they're doing it. But a couple times recently when I've shown, because I have everyone do a standing toe touch with their knees soft, meaning unlocked. And it's to not only see how far they go, but I want to see how their spine moves through that movement. And a few times people have watched the video. I haven't said anything because to me, I'm like, yeah, this looks good. They've been like, wow, my spine's really rounded. It should be a lot straighter, no? And I always say, no, your spine has to round. Like when you bend forward, your spine needs to bend. That's why we have joints. Joints are meant to move. And one of the directions of movement, one of the main directions of movement in the spine is flexion, which means bending, and extension, which is bending the other way. But yeah, I just think it's interesting that people think that they are supposed to have, I guess, structurally a neutral spine, which no, you want to make sure that it can bend. And on top of that, you want to train your spine to know how to bend so that when you bend over to pick something up, or, you know, I know plenty of people who they throw out their back when they bend over to like pick up a pen or something like that. And they've not bent in so long because in strength training, typically we train in neutral spine, which is great for that context. However, it's not great for real life to just ignore the ability to bend and increase your spine's capacity to withstand the demand of bending, whether under load or just your body weight moving.
Yeah, your spine, not talking about the pelvis, just the spine itself. There are 24 bones in your spine. It's supposed to be able to move.
Articulate.
Yeah, it's supposed to be able to move in some directions more than others, but it's supposed to be able to move
In like every direction.
in like every direction. And you said a lot of people will throw their back out like bending over to pick up a pen or something like that. Like that's a very very common thing. I've had people that I've worked with in the past like literally said I went to pick up a Dorito that fell on the ground and I was, you know, that was it. I was out of commission because of that. And
the Dorito's worth it though.
well, I don't know.
I fucking love Doritos.
But yeah, your joints are supposed to move, and that's something that I think that maybe it's been drilled into us just because of, I don't know, the fitness industry. But just another example of just because you heard something from somewhere or from somebody doesn't necessarily mean that it's 100% true.
Yeah, I mean, when you deadlift, yeah, and when you squat, you're training with neutral spine, best of your ability. But even then, like you'll see extremely strong men or power lifters, and you'll see that part of their spine starts to flex under load, but they can tolerate it. So it's not bad. They've essentially trained that position to be strong. I mean, I know for years you were afraid to bend through your spine.
Yeah. Yeah. Long history of back issues, dealt with it over decades plus to get rid of my back pain. And it's taken some time, but even actually I was thinking this today that I think you'll appreciate this when I was doing the I forget what it's called, the extensions in the workouts, the 45-degree extensions. Normally that's something that I would never do because it messes up my back, but I confidently did it today with weight.
I'm proud of you.
Yep.
Why do you think that is?
Well, honestly, I've been paying a lot more attention to like how my rib cage and how my pelvis move, and that's a lot of my mobility going into my workout is rib cage and pelvis stuff.
Weird. Who showed you that?
I don't know. Some smart lady I know. And yeah, I'm getting distracted by Baloo.
Yeah, Baloo.
Sorry.
If you're watching Vinny,
Sorry, all
you can see
listeners.
that Baloo is like attacking us in his breath. Yeah, so I still work with him, but on a much less frequent scale. But one of my patients initially came to me, and I feel like I mentioned this in like the beginning of the podcast, not today, but just in total.
Another episode.
That he actually came to me for his big toe, but in the evaluation, I noticed how he it's like his low back and his whole spine really, but his low back especially was just like as if it was stuck in a cast. And we talked about it, and he had a really bad disc herniation a few years prior, maybe a year or two prior. And he was working with a PT group that was very into what's called the McGill Method. And that's a great method for essentially what's the word I'm looking for? Not preserving, not sacrificing.
Stabilizing?
No, just like
Mitigating?
healing discs. I'll just say that. It's a great protocol for healing discs. However, there is a time where you need to start to train out of the McGill method, because the McGill method, it just only trains you to brace yourself in neutral spine with every single thing that you're doing. When you sit, when you get on the ground, when you lay down in bed, everything must be braced in a neutral position. And so he did that for so long, and also had fear of re-injuring his back, that he literally could not bend through his low back. And it was a really big issue that I think in his head, he was like okay with staying there, because the alternative to him was tremendous amount of low back pain and radiating pain from his disc. But we talked about it, and then we worked for a year, I think at least, on his low back. And now he's able to bet. And then he had a baby, like after he graduated at his plan, and we were more doing like performance. He had his first baby, he himself.
I was going to say a real junior situation.
His wife had a baby, and before having the baby, he started recognizing how he was able to enjoy and tolerate social situations more, because he could sit for longer without being in a tremendous amount of pain. He could walk around, he could move around. And then when he had the baby, he realized how limited and unfulfilled his life would be if he was still in that position when his baby was born, because he was able to enjoy everything and also help his wife as much as needed, because his low back wasn't his handicap anymore. And now he can bend through his spine, thankfully. So when people think that they need to always do everything in neutral spine, they are doing themselves a disservice by not getting used to bending in all directions.
Yeah, you're not increasing your body's capacity for what will eventually happen, right? Because the idea of being a neutral spine, theoretically, great idea. In actuality, in the real world, in life, not realistic, right?
Yeah.
You need something could happen. You could miss the curb and end up, falling in a weird way or something like that. Like, you need to have your body prepared to be able to handle whatever can be thrown at it. And if you're only training one position in your spine, in your center, essentially, right? Like your body's not going to be able to tolerate a multitude of different things.
So a really popular exercise to train flexion and up to being upright is the Jefferson curl. Essentially, you're just trying to articulate through your spine. That is a standing loaded exercise, so not everyone's ready for that. There are exercises you can do with lying on your back, your knees are bent, and your feet are planted on the ground. That's called a hook lying position. If I use that word later, you'll know what I'm talking about. Where you can articulate your spine. Essentially, you're doing a sit-up, but you are trying to articulate through each vertebrae of your spine. And you can do that with a resistance band anchored to a wall, and then articulate in the opposite direction. After you've done the sit-up, you can then articulate to get back to a lying position. Then there's also, this doesn't necessarily train the spine, but like slouch squats and things like slouch split squats, it does require that you bend. I guess ignore that, because it really it's not a spinal exercise. It really is more of like a knee, hip, or foot exercise. But there's just a lot of reasons why you should be training this. And Vinny touched on it already, with like being able to have the capacity for whatever life throws at you, because not everything that you do in life is in neutral spine. I'm sure when you pick up a piece of paper off the ground, when you go to hug your dog, when you um
Tying your shoes.
yeah,
Like
all those
so
things,
many
and
different
that would be
things.
so hard to do with your spine kind of just like fused in a straight position. So yeah, the goal is to be able to bend and articulate through your spine, neck, mid back, low back. And yeah, I think that's the episode. That was just, I think, a really big message. And Baloo is just, breathing his hot breath all over Vinny right now. So
I mean, one thing that I don't think enough people recognize or maybe consider is that when a lot of the things that we're talking about, we do talk about being in the gym, we talk about training the body and all these different things. But the gym is supposed to prepare you for normal daily life,
yeah.
right? Like learning how to do a deadlift isn't just so that you could learn to pick up really heavy shit. It does help you do that, but it also prepares your body for when life happens and you have to pick something up off the ground. Squatting is going to the toilet. That's it. Like it's training your body how to move so that you could sit and then stand back up.
Yeah, but the thing is like with the deadlift, that kind of is like people think that that is the way you should pick stuff up off the ground. And
Yep.
what I'm saying is no, that's appropriate if you injure your back. It gives you the tools to be braced and be able to hinge for sure. But on like daily life, is that what you're talking about?
I mean, daily life, right? Let's say, I don't know, you've got to pick up a 50-pound bag of rocks,
Yeah.
right? For whatever reason. You can absolutely have proper deadlift form when you go to do it.
Uh-huh.
You don't need to. You should be smart about your body and have awareness on the things that you're doing and make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position where you're going to injure yourself. I'm not saying be careless, but it's not like, oh, hold on, I need to make sure that I'm getting ready to pick this thing up off the ground. It shouldn't always be like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think if it's a 50-pound bag of rocks, I would definitely think. I would think first. I would be like, let me make sure that I'm in my deadlift position before I pick up a huge bag of rocks. But if it is, I don't know, I think it's like, yeah, you're picking up a baby off the ground, things like that, just a baby that you found on the street that you just go to pick up off the ground.
I'm always picking babies up off the street.
You're gonna bend through your back. Um, yeah, the point is like, yes, the gym is supposed to prepare you for everyday life. What I'm saying is that every time we're at the gym, we're so focused on neutral spine that we're not training flexion and extension. So that when we do pick something up or life gets thrown at us, our body is not necessarily prepared because we've only trained in this one plane of motion. So hinging, definitely, you need to know how to hinge. Like hinging is involved in squatting, and that is the deadlift, that's the RDL. Like you have to be able to hinge. But only being able to hinge and not articulate through your spine, you're going to have a deficit. That's all that I'm saying is like if you only train the one and not all, then there will be a gap, and then you are more you're at a higher risk of injury when just like shit happens. I mean, you talked about missing a step or the curb or whatever. It's like your back, the benefit of training your core in neutral is that like when something like that happens, your core kind of just like knows how to snap on and engage to protect all your joints best that it can. But also, if your body knows how to bend in all directions, then that's even more of a superpower that you have.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do you have anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Nothing else except for a kiss for Baloo.
I'm just getting kisses over here.
Baloo's getting antsy.
Thank you, bud.
All right. Well, yeah, our dogs are, well, Frankie is sleeping, but Baloo is very anxious because he didn't get exercise today because it's raining. So, well, he got a little exercise.
He did. He's just going through something right now.
He's might have to put him on the treadmill.
It's a treadmill day for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, our dogs go on the treadmill when they need extra exercise, and today's going to be one of those days, I think. And I got to ride the bike. Are you going on the bike?
I will be going on the bike today as well.
Look at all of us, cardio kids.
Yep.
All right. Well, love you. Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.